Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is just going to be a video covering my thoughts and impressions on the Luxsin X9, really more so from a subjective standpoint because I don't hold myself out as a professional reviewer of amp decks, and I'm certainly not going to get into amp deck reviews on any consistent basis on my channel. This is a beautiful unit though. It was sent out for my impressions on how I am hearing things with respect to its overall presentation in comparison to what I am currently using, which is the Topping DX9. We do have a beautiful unit though, no shortage of just a very good looking aesthetic across the board, from the 4-inch touchscreen to the CNC aluminum chassis here and the black ridges here on the left side. Just a great looking unit, and the knob here just feels very nice. We've got the XLR headphone out. We have a 635 and a 44. The 44 is the balanced, and so far with all of my IEMs, I have absolutely no issues in terms of noise floor. So I do not hear any buzzing, any white noise, anything like that with my IEMs. And a cool feature here on the X9, which you're either going to appreciate or not, but when you do plug in a particular IEM or headphone, it does try to give you that level of power so that you're not blowing out your eardrums. And if you do have a very hard to drive headphone, it will try to go into that particular impedance to give you the power delivery that you might need. I think it's a pretty cool feature personally, especially somebody like me swapping from headphones and IEMs frequently for testing related purposes. And then you have the switch here that will mute it, and if you hold it, it will power the unit down. But a nice all-in-one R2R DAC here. And I'll give you guys a look at the rear panel as well, but you have USB-C, USB-B, you have coaxial, RCA, XLR, and there is a sub out as well, along with Bluetooth. So a lot of connectivity here on the Luxsin X9. Now, I absolutely love this front panel here. When you are listening to anything, this is something that I love, seeing all of the areas in terms of the frequency response of what's being activated in certain areas. It kind of helps me look at certain things when I'm testing. But with respect to the features on this, one thing that I really do think is quite cool is that you actually have the option to turn on the EQ here. And with the EQ, you can actually add new headphones, and you can search for what it is that you're using. So if you're using the Susvara, if you're using the HD490, you can actually search, because this does connect through Wi-Fi, for your particular headphone, and you can load some designated EQs on there. With the effect tab here, you can actually change the stereo width. That actually does have a pretty good impact in game. You can adjust the tone, so you can lower the bass, raise the bass, the mids, etc. But very interesting features here. The loudness, the subwoofer option here as well. But in general, the stereo width feature is the one that was kind of like geared towards, at least in advertising purposes for gaming. I leave this off, but when you do turn it all the way up to 100 in Valorant, for instance, like things like operators being shot across the map do come through actually quite loud. But it kind of just throws things off a little bit in my personal opinion, so I leave all of the effects off. There is crossfeed as well, and then when you get over to your sources, you can change your source here if you want to go from USB-B to C to coax, etc. You have output port here, audio settings, the Wi-Fi connection, and you can actually, if you go to the About tab, you can actually upgrade the firmware here right on the unit itself. So there's a lot of things that I really do enjoy and appreciate with the ease of use, as well as just how good this unit actually looks. But the 4-inch touchscreen, you can actually cycle through different things here like the VU meter, etc. It's actually just got a number of different menus here that are very fast. I didn't notice any delay at all with respect to the screens. So a very cool number of things that you get here on the Luxsin X9, and a lot of features. And I'll show you guys the internals of this particular unit as well. And the Luxsin X9 is using premium internals, from gold-plated aluminum capacitors, silver-plated cables, numerous 0.1% high-precision, low-temperature drift resistors, and of course the AK4499EX DAC chips with OPA 1612 op amps. for accurate signal processing and a R2R volume control circuit that's within zero point 0.1 dB from the left and right side. So you guys know that right now, primarily I'm using the Topping DX9, and I'm not gonna get off the Topping DX9 for the Luxsin X9, and that's just because I'm so used to the sound profile out of my DX9 that for testing purposes, it's just easier for me to roll into testing. The Luxsin X9, though, is absolutely fantastic, and there's certain IEMs, there's certain things that worked better on the X9 in comparison to the DX9. The DX9 feels a little bit thinner in the space. The Luxsin has more density, more weight. It feels on certain audio cues, even footsteps in Valorant coming across a little bit more, not necessarily meaty or muddier, just more kind of intimate and emphasized on certain things. Just kind of more of this like dense impact in comparison to the DX9. They're both very close in terms of their general performance and very comparable. Again, I could go either way in terms of my recommendations. So it really depends on the feature set that you would want, and it depends on the aesthetic. It depends on a multitude of factors, but they're both absolutely fantastic units. I think in terms of that presentation of depth, imaging, the staging here on the Luxsin X9 are all fantastic. And it's not anything that I would describe as a warmer experience or a greatly more intimate experience than the DX9. But I would say that it is slightly more intimate feeling than the DX9, but still this neutral presentation where everything sounds great. It doesn't transcend into this warmer feeling DAC. It still has this great sense of neutrality. So I'm getting a great experience out of the Luxsin X9. And in terms of all of my IEMs, again, even the most sensitive, I didn't have any issues in terms of hearing any distortion, feedback, etc. With my hardest to drive headphones right now, I didn't have any issues either, but I don't have something like a Susvara to test per se. But so far, everything's sounding great on the Luxsin X9. Again, a comparable experience to the Topping DX9, but I'm going to be staying on that for the reasons I've already discussed. Really great unit though here, and some fun features, and just a great aesthetic with very good internals, I think, at this price point. That's going to be it for my general thoughts and overview of the Luxsin X9. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, but again, supplement it maybe with some other videos from people who really thoroughly test amp DACs on a more consistent basis. My only cross-reference really in this range are two other amp DACs at that kilobuck level, and right now my everyday usage of the Topping DX9, and again, a comparable experience. I hope it helped, guys. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. See you guys in the next review. Peace.